makeup friends, today we're going to be doing another 3 looks 1 palette video, and the palette that we are using is the new Retro palette from Natasha Denona. Let's get into this. As always, I want to start off by welcoming you back to my channel, or if you are new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and on my channel we like to mix beauty, brains, and the occasional F-bomb. Like I said, today is going to be a 3 looks 1 palette video, but before we get into the looks, I do want to talk about the palette. So this retails for $87 Canadian or $65 American, and it can be purchased through the Sephora website, through Beautylish, or through the Natasha Denona website itself. I believe it's also available on Cult Beauty, but I haven't looked into that. But if you're in the UK, that might be an option for you. I would say though, to my Canadian viewers, if you're going to purchase this, highly recommend that you get it through Sephora. But if not Sephora, then through Beautylish, because Beautylish will calculate the customs fees for you and you pay them right at the time of purchase. Whereas if you purchase it through Natasha Denona, first of all, the shipping is going to be more expensive, but then you're also going to get one of those dreaded surprise letters about a week after it arrives with your customs bill from FedEx. Not fun. It basically doubles the cost of the shipping. So word to the wise, go through Sephora or Beautylish. Okay, let's take a look at the inside. So when I saw pictures of this, I wanted to pretend that I was going to be able to resist it, but I knew deep down that I wasn't, because this color story, this is my jam. Like, these kind of tones really just play up the green in my eyes. They're my like happy space. This is my comfort zone. I love the color story of what's going on in here. However, I will say that if you have the mini Retro palette, you're probably going to be a little bit disappointed with the color story unless, like me, you also really love these like purpley and cranberry kind of tones. The reason I say that is because the mini Retro palette is a lot lighter in tone. So you can see that those pinks are true pinks. There's really nothing with a purple theme going on in here. And then these 2 more taupey kind of shades here almost have like a hint of a greenish olive undertone to it. So it is a little bit grungier over on this side, but then more ethereal on the outer edges. And overall, I just think that if you put the 2 of them side by side, you wouldn't necessarily think that this one takes inspiration from this one. Not in the same way that we've seen in the past with some of her other mini palettes. So all that to say, I'm not necessarily disappointed in that because I'm able to view them as 2 separate entities, but if you were hoping that we were going to get an expanded palette based on this color story, given the mini Retro name of it, the fact that we now have a midi Retro that does look dramatically different suggests that we're not going to get an expanded version of this color story. So just going to put that out there. Now, before we do a deep dive into this palette, it is coming up, I also want to do a quick comparison with the Love palette, because at first glance, there may seem to be a bit of an overlap, but when I really look at these shades, there's only a few shades per palette that look like they might be overlapping with each other. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch those ones out, but you can see with this one that there is a lot more diversity in terms of the colors that are in there. You have true purples, you have a true red, there are some pink tones in there, there's some more like pink gold, sort of rose gold kind of tones, if you will. So this one, there is more variety in terms of the tone, whereas when you look at the Retro palette, I can't say it's monochromatic, but it's definitely more structured under the umbrella of a monochromatic kind of palette, if that makes sense. And I will do swatches, but you will see like even these kind of shades here that look like they might be a little bit more on the brown side, and even including this really deep one here, they do have a purple undertone to them once they are blended out. So I don't want to call it a monochromatic, but it's a mono-themed palette. I guess we'll coin that term. Okay, so like I said, I am going to swatch out the shades that I think are fairly close in each of these, and we'll take a look and see if they're as close as they appear in the pan. So first up from the Love palette, I'm going to take a look at this shade here, which is called Pure Love, and I'm going to compare it with a shimmer shadow in the Retro palette in this corner over here, and this shade is called Swing. So I have the Love palette on this finger, Retro over here. You can already see that they are nowhere near similar. So even though they do look similar in the pan, once applied, they are quite different from each other. So next I'm going to compare 4 matte shades, 2 from each palette. So up first in Love, we have Heartbeat, which is up here, and Soul, which is this shade over here. And then from the Retro palette, I'm comparing those to, what is this called? Amara down here. And then this matte shade over here, which is called Groove. I thought I said Grove for a second, Groove. So there they are on my fingers. These 2 are from the Love palette, these 2 from Retro. These 2 in the viewfinder look pretty similar, but the other 2, not so much. I'm gonna do it so that I can see it, just so that, because the viewfinder isn't always super helpful. Okay, so the shade Heartbeat and the shade Amara are similar. They're not the same, but they are definitely similar. So it is this shade here. This one is from this one is from the Retro palette. This one, is that right? Yes, this one is from Love. So these 2 are fairly similar. I think once they're blended and applied to the eyes, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the 2, but one shade that overlaps in a palette of how many? 15? I can't complain about that. And those are really the only shades that are even remotely similar to each other. So the fact that there's only one shade in each palette that so closely resembles each other, I'm not going to complain about that. So I'm happy about that. But now let's get into swatches of the Retro palette. First up is Glitz, a cool baby pink with champagne reflex and a duochrome finish. Andy, taupe lilac with a matte finish. Jude, a warm taupe with a metallic finish. Maud, off-white with a pink undertone and a matte finish. Vivian, light pink cream with a matte finish. Groove, warm maroon with a matte finish. Opart, dark taupe with a matte finish. Psychedelic, warm baby pink with multicolor reflex and a duochrome finish. Go-Go, warm rose with a matte finish. Patty, rose copper with a metallic finish. Swing, dark cool maroon with a metallic finish. Nude mauve, neutral mauve with a matte finish. Rebellion, medium burgundy with a matte finish. Hello, neutral taupe with a metallic finish. And finally, Amara, cool vintage rosewood with a matte finish. All right, so now that we've seen the swatches, it's time to get into the eye looks, and once those are done, I will be back with my final thoughts for you. Here we go.
I wanted to escape for a while. Thought that a couple of drinks could ease my mind. I've been thinking of you for 2 weeks straight. I know that I need to get myself back in the game. Someone said your name had a turn around. Suddenly you're there standing in the crowd. Everything comes back in the blink of an eye. It's like you're mine, you're still mine. They skip the small talk, cause you know me better than I know myself. Oh, mine's been a while now since I saw you, but it feels like yesterday somehow. Time has stopped, nothing's changed, we're the same. And we skip the small talk, cause you know me, yeah, you know me like nobody else. I wanted to escape for a while. I called a couple of friends and we of a night. It's like you're mine, you're still mine. We skip the small talk, cause you know me better than I know myself. Oh my, it's been a while now since I saw you, but it feels like yesterday somehow. Time has stopped, nothing's changed, we're the same. And we skip the small talk, cause you know me, yeah, you know me like nobody else. Skip the small talk. It's been a while now. Skip the small talk. It's been a while now. Skip the small talk, cause you know me better than I know myself. Oh my, it's been a while now since I saw you, but it feels like yesterday somehow. Time has stopped, nothing's changed, we're the same. And we skip the small talk, cause you know me, yeah, you know me like nobody else. There's some stains on your photo, little cracks on your rusty frame, stuck in the mud, but it's okay. I don't have the pieces of you buried in the flashbacks of these wicked Let's leave the past behind. Walk with me. There's something else we need to find. Say you'll go, don't make me wait. There's no need to hesitate. Let's make footprints in the sand. Let's make miracles. Come hold my hand. Let's find something new, me and you. Blue is the sky, like the color of your eyes. Blue is your heart. It's been like that from the start. Say you'll stay till the morning light. I'll help you through the fight. Let's make footprints in the sand. Let's make miracles. Come hold my hand. Let's find something new, me and you. Walk with me. Let's leave the past behind. Walk.
All right, so there we have it, guys. Those are the 3 looks that I have created. And I do want to point out this eye look, look number 3, I applied over 12 hours ago. I haven't touched anything up. Those metallic shadows are still nice and foiled. Everything, like those distinct colors are there. It hasn't got all muddy and faded into one like amorphous blob. It's still holding up really well. So the longevity in these shadows is definitely there. That was a complaint that I had with Mini Xenon. This one, she gets the job done. So very, very happy with that aspect of the palette. Now, the application of these shades as well, I have no complaints about. I didn't find any of the shadows to be frustrating to work with. The metallics pick up really nicely on a brush. They're super high impact on the eyes, which is my preferred finish when we're talking about metallic and shimmer finishes. The mattes blended out beautifully. Some of them are a little bit more of a true powder kind of formula. Others feel like they might be that cream to powder formula that she does sometimes. Those haven't always been my favorite, and yet these shades in here, even the really dark ones, there's no patchiness with them. They blend out really nicely and the intensity builds up really easily. So I'm very, very happy with these shadows. I'm honestly just sitting here staring at this palette, trying to think of a critique, and it's very challenging. I really like that even with the like cream matte shade, there's still that like pinky kind of purple undertone to it. So everything just jives so nicely with each other. And I really don't think you can screw this color story up. Like everything plays so nicely with each other. I think the only change that I would make would be in the really metallic sort of sparkly shades. This one in the middle here called Psychedelic and this one called Glitz. And it's only because they're very similar to each other. So on this finger here, if it'll focus, there we go, we have Glitz. And then on this finger is Psychedelic. So Very similar, very intensely sparkly. And then once they are applied, so this is glitz, this is psychedelic, it's hard to see the difference between them. There is a difference. So psychedelic is more truly baby pink, whereas glitz has like a little bit of a peachy / gold kind of duo shift going to it. Duo shift? That's not a word. Duochromatic shift? It's been a long day. Anyways, there is a slight difference between the two, but it's pretty minimal. So once they're applied to the eyes, they both kind of look the same. So I think there could have been room for something different, maybe a really sparkly light purple or just, I don't know, something different. But be that as it may, overall, the palette is stunning. I mean, this is just me being nitpicky for the sake of having some sort of critique. But this is the best one yet, in my opinion. Oh, wait, should I? Glam. That's a tough call. Glam is a really, really tough competitor. I might give the edge to this one because these shades are just so flattering on my eye color. And because I have Sultry, which is very similar to Glam. So, oh gosh, I might rank this above Glam. That's surprising. That surprises me. I'm going to go ahead and say that. But it's like retro, Glam. Like they are stacked right on top of each other. And then there's like a good amount of space between all the other middies. But at any rate, that is just one person's opinion. So if you have tried this palette yourself, I would love to hear your thoughts and your experiences in the comments below. If you haven't picked it up, let me know. Is this one that you intend to pick up? Do you have these kind of shades and therefore you don't feel you need it? Do you just not like these kind of tones? There's no right or wrong answer, so just feel free to tell me whatever you want to tell me in the comments, to be honest. But for now, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.